to answer some of the questions about what the criteria for success will be for this last assignment, or perhaps elaborate and to go into more detail, I just want you to first read the learning goals and success criteria in the assignment. It's really going to be based on those, and doing those at a grade 12 level. So if you look at the first one, it's about using information technology to conduct research effectively. So, make sure the sources are relevant and reliable. It's not just going to be the Wikipedia page of that company, but you might go to that company's website to get some specific locations of where a factory to manufacture goods might be, or particular partnerships that they have. Maybe something in the news. The government of Canada, often conducts these Team Canada trips, so perhaps the company was involved with that, and there's something on the government of Canada website. Make sure that it's not just what Quora or Wikipedia or some basic, question and answer website, but a good, reliable resource. And then the second expectation is sort of about using information technology to deliver a professional and creative final product. So, make sure it's clear and easy to understand what you're talking about, that you get to the point quickly, that there's not a huge paragraph of text when you could really say it in 1 or 2 points, that you've proofread carefully, that the technology sort of enhances the project. It's easier to understand because of how you've laid it out. It's not harder. For example, sometimes when you list every fact that you can think of on one page of a slideshow, it actually is harder to understand than if you had highlighted it and shown a specific example. So the next expectation is about incorporating basic terminology and concepts. So the words that were explained in chapters 1 to 7 of the first unit should be the ones that are used here. You want to identify, this is a company that imports goods. Is it exporting goods? Is it investing? Which sector is it involved in? If you remember, the primary sector, those natural resources; the secondary sector, goods that have been, modified or manufactured or otherwise produced; or tertiary sectors. It could be a bank that sells financial services. Try to identify what kind of partnerships it is involved with. Is it a joint venture? Is it franchising? Does it license other products? Does it give licenses to local producers to sort of distribute their products? Is there some sort of investment? And try to identify, are there any potential trade barriers? For example, a lumber company in Canada would have to deal with often being in a trade war with the United States over softwood lumber, and how that could add an element of unpredictability to things. Or, automotive company might be affected by the U.S., Mexico, Canada trade agreement, and how that has impacted cars made in North America. So the last chapter before this one was about competitive advantages. So please, identify what makes the company stand out, and, why have those competitive advantages helped in the country that it is operating in. Perhaps it's a clothing company, Canada Goose, that has stood out because it's created, very, very trendy products. And as a result, in those winter countries, people want to wear the same clothing that has appeared in many Hollywood films. Just, make it clear what makes the multinational company stand out. And lastly, it's about explain how a Canadian business has been affected by globalization. So take some time to touch upon the history of the multinational companies involvement in international business? When did it start? Any key events? Did it grow? And, over time, slowly, or has it recently, become more active? And then again, how has a company been affected by globalization? For example, you could say, well, in 1970, it moved its manufacturing facilities to another country, and or in the 90s, it began selling more goods online and less goods through stores. Whatever it is, please say when it started being an international business and how some of those characteristics of globalization from Unit 1, Chapter 1 have affected the company. And, I just encourage everyone, again, to double check their work, maybe compare it to someone else's, maybe proofread with another person in the class. And I'm sure if you review these success criteria and you, proofread your work, you will all do very, very well. And I'm looking forward to reading them. Thank you.